Thanks, sir.
Okay, welcome to the May 22nd meeting of the Board of Riley County Commissioners. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, do we have any public comment?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I'd like to ask the board to add an executive session as the last item on the agenda after Julie Gibbs. This will be for a performance matter of non-elected person.
Why couldn't you just stayed on vacation?
I've thought that myself. This is a good example.
I walked into that. Fair enough. All right. With that said, I'll make a motion that we add an executive session to the end of the agenda time this morning.
I'll second.
So moved and seconded to add an executive session to the end of our agenda today. All in favor?
I
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
told you, spicy.
Yeah, you were right.
Okay, we'll move to commission comments. We'll begin with Commissioner McKinley.
All right. Well, Friday I came in working in the office here for a while. They delivered our new shredder and I was cleaning my office. It came in handy. I started
Yeah.
chucking stuff in there pretty good. Saturday, went to Kansas City. Visited my daughter's house, but also had another high school graduation.
Oh,
to go to. So that was good. And other time, like I say, working in the office here, kind of started looking through budget stuff and but also just enjoying the nice weather out. It's
Mhm.
finally getting nice weather, not consider the heat or cold. Yeah, it's like even weather it's supposed to be. That's all I got.
Ditto on the weather. Those are absolutely gorgeous this morning. The late May and I got the windows open and fan on and it's, yeah, I like it. So. Yeah, Thursday afternoon, listened in on the Council of Foreign Affairs May State and Local Officials webinar. It was called Navigating the U.S. Economic Uncertainty. Brad Setzer, the CFR's Whitney Shepherdson Senior Fellow, led a conversation on the likelihood of an upcoming economic recession, current debt ceiling debate, and recent instabilities contained within the United States banking sector. Very, very good presentation. Kind of scary at the same time, kind of really unstable at the same time as well. We had a very good Q&A answer session that followed, as you can probably imagine. A lot of it, I think, centered more on the debt ceiling debate than maybe the other topics at this particular point in time, because that's kind of front and center. So, but all in all, I thought it went pretty well. Worth the time listening to. And Friday afternoon, went to Topeka, met with my doctor. Although the weight and weight loss has kind of plateaued here at the beginning of 2023, everything else is like perfect. Knock on wood type perfect. So that means I guess we continue to move in the right direction. We're gonna switch up and change the routine a little bit and see if we can adjust some more weight. I'm still got about 20-25 pounds on to work off, and that would give me about 135, 140 total. So sounds like a big number, and it is. So, looking at some pictures over the weekend from 4 years ago. Wow. I mean, just wow. So anyway, I won't brag too much about it, but what I'm really excited about, hopefully that'll be the last time I go to Topeka, because with the new facility opening up in August, should be able to start getting in there. And that's just 5 minutes instead of 50 minutes from home. So, not that I have any problems with anybody up in Topeka. They've been great, but it'll be nice to have all those services and have everything contained right here on the home front. So looking forward to that come August. Saturday morning, joined the Riley County Republicans for the monthly coffee talk over at Dove Roads, the third month that we've done that over there. And I think we've already outgrown that space. So Kenny Titus, state representative from the 51st district, gave an update on the end of the state legislative session, as well as the veto session in Topeka that just wrapped up. I also gave an update on what we're working on here in Riley County, answered some questions and some concerns. And we heard from several other local officials and a couple of school board candidates, I guess, that were present there too. I guess that process is kind of starting up pretty quick with the deadline coming
First.
next week, isn't it? Next Thursday?
Yep.
Yeah, so got 10 days if you're thinking about it. So just putting that out there. Lastly, stopped by the treasurer's office this morning to get my tags and taxes paid for the year. As usual, it was quick and painless, as it always is. That's been the same for 4 years for me anyway. And keep in mind, they're down customer service people. So, you know, you would think that that would interrupt things a little bit. The office looks great. Did a real good job in there on that. And for me, I really like the new online software appointment. And I have a place to set all that up in advance, and it's just quick and simple. Got to pull one of those little tickets and then try to remember it and all that other stuff. So worked out pretty well. So that's all I got.
Okay. Well, Friday morning, I had an appointment with my plumbing company to do the bi-yearly maintenance on my furnace and air conditioner. It's the first year I've done that since the house is only 3 years old. But it also included service to my on-demand water heater, which I didn't know that you're supposed to do a chemical flush on them once a year. So I was noticing some problems with it. So that went away, which was good. I went into the office also Friday. I must have just missed you. And catch up on some paperwork, went over today's agenda items, and then afterward I spent a short time with Amanda Webb. And then I too got my yearly car registration done. Yeah, we're both
Last name F, yeah.
So it's very painless, except paying for it.
Yeah.
A newer car.
No.
And I should have mentioned, I forgot my checkbook this morning. I had no cash, so I got the 2%, 2.5% charge too, but hey, what it is.
Whoops.
I get 2.5% cash back, so it washes, it ends up being a wash.
Yeah, Saturday I caught up on personal business, shopping, doing the laundry, all sorts of things I've been putting off. Rest of the weekend, did yard work, enjoyed the great weather, and generally caught up on a lot of home chores. And hopefully landscaping, that part is over. I did do a soaker system for my vegetables. Never done that before, so I've got to do some adjustments on them, but I think that's going to work well. So I have a friend that's going to do joint vegetable gardening with me, so that's good. So, anyway, that's all I have. So let's move on to business.
First item we have is highway use permit, Jordan Mikeman, homeowner, who has requested permission to have CL backhoe work in the right of way along Kansas Avenue to repair a sanitary service line from the back of the house located at 105 South Iowa Street, Riley, Kansas, to the corner of Kansas Avenue and South Iowa Street.
Okay. Make a motion to approve the highway use permit for CL backhoe.
I'll second.
So moved and seconded to approve the highway use permit for CL backhoe. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sure, it's fine. No, that guy that owns CL backhoe, his name's Chansey. When I first met him, I always.
Wow.
Oh, Chancey Larson?
Huh?
Yeah, I went to school, Chancey.
He's a good guy.
Played
Wow.
football together.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah,
I
he
like
is.
him.
Everyone got ties to the area.
Next, Commissioner, need a motion to approve proclamation for National Public Works Week, May 21st to the 27th.
I'll make a motion to approve the proclamation for National Public Works Week, May 21st to the 27th.
I'll second.
So moved and seconded to approve the proclamation for National Public Works Week, May 21st through the 27th, 2023. All in favor? Aye.
Time, please. I know, that's some heavy paper.
I need to pull out the quill and the ink.
There's no place we can get John's budget.
Hmm.
Quality paper.
Yeah.
Next, tax roll correction.
Nothing, okay. Go ahead and move that, we, sign the, tax bill correction.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the tax roll correction. All in favor? Aye.
That was a voter case that actually went through, a voter case. that
It
actually-
was stipulated, it's one of the ones that I had talked to you guys about.
Yeah, you had mentioned.
Yeah, they
get some of them
provided
settled.
additional income and expense information.
Good.
Not a-
Help, there's one mark off. It's a long list, but you gotta start
Oh,
somewhere.
that's look like it's shortening up a little bit.
Well,
Oh.
Okay, never
And
mind.
then reality rears. its
these
ugly
are
head.
hopes
Then I guess we got all the 23s
Yeah.
coming, is what she's
Oh.
insinuating.
Okay, never mind.
It's not pretty.
Baby steps.
Yeah, was feeling really hopeful there and then bam. Okay,
Never ends.
no,
Next, Raleigh County Employee Action Forms, Kimberly Alpers, record assist one registered lead department separation service, Barry Piper. Environmental health specialist, separation of service, Will Moore, paramedic, EMS ambulance, separation of service, Cindy Weber, grader 2, commercial. And appraisal department, separation of service, Dr. Wickman, EMT, in the EMS ambulance department, separation of service, Logan Starks, new hire, seasonal labor, public works department. Scott Mulder, election assistant in the election clerk department, separation of service, Marla Johnson, human resource clerical assistant, separation of service, and Julian Poe, clerical assistant, the appraiser's office, separation of service.
Again, they're all marked.
Yeah. Okay, I thought maybe it was just mine,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll make a note.
But also, what, did it just catch up? There was that
Yeah.
first. spot.
This was, we got the new Paylocity system, and it's, anytime you get a new system, you put a order of how things are supposed to go, because that's what I said to Elizabeth on Friday. I said, looks like we're doing some catching up, and the person that was in charge of doing these, which is our seasonal temporary person, wasn't in the loop, so this step was getting missed.
Oh, okay.
That's why I wondered what.
I was wondering.
I saw the names and I went, wait a minute, those people have been gone for a while.
You might check in the packet on this, last time too, they were all marked as public works in the commission.
We
packet.
fixed that.
Okay,
Yeah, that
because
was.
they said it was that way on this one too, so.
Yeah, the first 5 were all.
Yeah, I saw that first one about had heart attacks. I'm like, did we
I
just
know,
do the whole
Michelle
thing?
told me. Yeah, I talked to, okay, we just had a transition of people. I think she thought that's just what we called them. BW.
Oh,
I think she thought that was the name of the form.
oh,
So, no.
Yeah, new person in training. This thick paper, we can really cut this budget.
Like I said, I should have took out the quill and the ink on that one. It has calligraphy on it too.
We were eliminated at one time, that's felt like a board.
I know. It's like what they wrote the Declaration of Independence on.
all that tree trimming they did this.
Yeah.
Well, at least it's being put to good use.
Yeah, it's the plastics, that you can't redo.
Oh,
That's just bothers me that there's getting more and more plastics than there should be. I mean, just, it's ridiculous for the packaging. Yes, so
Kind of,
3 and 4 pack.
I love it.
Here's plastic.
I got a couple different places, including Amazon, that I'll order from, right? I'll order an item,
no,
not a big item. It comes in this big, huge box, and I'm like, really?
I
Really?
got one there, they had a box this big and you open it up, they had packing on it.
Yeah.
And
That's
there's
what I was
another
thinking.
box this
Packing
big
in the
inside
boxes,
it.
yeah.
They don't even
Open
use,
that up and there's more packing.
they don't even use the cool
And
bubble
probably
wrap
not
that
the-
makes noise anymore, they use those things that are just full of air and you pop them and they just,
Oh, yeah, just the.
yeah.
puff things.
I'm like, they even took the fun out of that.
Oh, Joel, I love that. My
And
kids
there's
go
a
to that.
backyard, because a lot of the neighbors put their trash out at night, and then the wind blows them out in the middle of the night, and all this plastic comes up in my backyards.
I get cups and a convenience store across the street. Everybody, and I said, when you finish a drink and throw it out, somebody said, oh no, they're getting a new one, so they're emptying their cup holder, so you just throw them out as they, instead, there's a trash can as they walk in the door, but we get a collection.
crazy.
I lived at a place that we
Clean
used
up.
to do that too, but we had some nurses aides that would come by and pick up all the cans and all the tabs and stuff, and it went to nurses fund. So it went to a good cause and we didn't have to pick up after ourselves. Win for everybody.
Well,
Fortunately, my friend's dad was the one that owned the house, so we didn't have any problems there either. But good times.
We got Riley, we used to go up. Take my picking on the highway. Every couple of days picking up cans.
Now, at the end of the school year, we'd have a barbecue with all of our books that we couldn't sell. Yeah,
Wow.
we did something with them. The burgers and hot dogs weren't real great, but we felt like we won something at least.
A little bit of your money back.
Yeah. We used to think of it as wood fire, because, paper comes from wood. It wasn't really.
I'm glad you got
It wasn't really that way.
all that ink in there.
Yeah.
No concern for the lead ink.
Yeah, no, none of that. I mean.
Well, if you think about it, that could explain a lot too. I was like that meme where it's you had a hamburger, they took a Sharpie and they put the grill marks on it.
I mean, you know.
Yeah,
Ew,
that's what I thought.
That'll sound good.
Looks perfectly good on the picture, but
ew.
Heard on some podcast from somebody, and it was somebody with experience working in a national pizza
Yeah.
chain. That one way you get the brown crust on several of their pizzas is it's painted on
Oh, God.
as part of the cooking process. I know, at least it was when this person was working.
what chain was that again?
Yeah,
I'm not saying. There's enough of them out there. I feel safe telling them. So,
Never heard of that.
yeah, I was kind of appalled. But I don't know. Anybody who's ever worked in a fast food kitchen
Yeah.
has a high threshold of being appalled.
Stories they are.
They worked there for 25 years. There you go.
Very good. Nice.
First strawberries. No good deal.
Is it?
Only about 10, but.
By yummy. Particularly good.
I think I could dress. I'm just afraid the bunnies will even.
Well, I got the birds. Got putting the net over them this
We
week,
put a net up. That's fine.
and there were a few, few of them. Birds have gotten one, but they hadn't found
It's
theirs.
like,
They
and they
got the
only eat
net on.
about half of.
Yeah, they just chew it up and make a mess, yeah.
Very good size to strawberries.
No, the first one's usually, just, but there's some other ones in there. A lot of blooms popping up.
Good deal. That'll be good.
What about doing a raised bed? Strawberry.
Help keep your bunnies out of it.
That's what I was saying about having gotten down with that.
The other thing was I was working on my fence for my bunnies, and my green beans.
I like things.
Yeah, I got my garden all whipped into shape yesterday, going on some tomato cages,
Yeah.
pepper cages.
Couple of blooms coming up on tomato.
I had a couple little tomatoes I picked off my cherry tomato plant. I picked them off because I didn't want all the energy going to them.
Yeah, that's what they said, first bloom, those big mosses.
Yeah, I had
No, but I
3 little tomatoes on there. I had to pull them off. Any changes to the minutes, commissioners?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the May 18th meeting of the Riley County Commission.
A second.
We moved in second to approve the May 18th minute. All in favor? Aye.
Any items for next week's press conference? A tentative agenda slip.
No more tentative.
Next, you have Mr. Meyer at 9 o'clock. Also, commissioners, on the location of the road map that we had in here. Our place for above the fountain won't work because it basically sits right on top of the fountain. So. There's some place in here that you would like it, or. What do you commissioners
And
think?
that wall seems smaller than,
It's wider than that.
on the left side.
There's one thing, this, it's wider than that, if you go on that post there,
Yeah, I'd stick past.
or back.
That's what I thought right
this
there.
corner.
Yeah.
As big a place as we got.
What about in the hallway?
Well, you got the thermostat over there.
I'm standing on the other one, you got a vent, a return air vent up high.
And you got the electric box.
Well,
You wanna go beside the fire extinguisher there?
we move the signature to the
Yeah,
post
yeah.
there and we put,
But
yeah.
You move it, yeah.
Okay. That was good.
Look really.
It's time to have an art sale.
Yeah, I think that should do.
Help balance the budget.
Well, I like the historical.
Oh, I do too. I've always enjoyed those. Sure, always did those. Always enjoyed those.
so I still reps my cousins. Yeah. I thought, I'd see my uncle, don't see him very often, or anything, but then I didn't know it turned out. Because like I said, he's in Kansas City and his daughter was graduating from high school. Her sisters in Kirksville, Missouri. And she had, her daughter was graduating from high school and her son was graduating from college. So my uncle had gone up there because there were two of them and they were all the same weekend.
Yeah.
8th grade promotion tomorrow in Private County. Great niece. Get to go to the farmhouse to eat before that, or else, so. It's her mother.
Yeah, like I said, there's a. There's. Down there. This weekend. Friday night, I think it's somebody played. Hungry, we went down, had the brownie all night.
Oh, good. Good.
Good stuff. So that and cookie, well, I think I had the chip,
All this.
and I had cookie. Thing,
Uh-huh.
it's baked cookie thing like this big. It's.
Roll that down to those personnel. All those 57s.
Yeah, that's sweets.
Last week, I tell you, I was not able to eat a regular meal until Saturday evening. Finally got my appetite back and stomach cancer. Finally ate. First time I ate 3 full meals yesterday. Finally started getting my energy back. That was a bad thing. I had no food in me, so I didn't have energy, you know.
I got sick Friday night. Just out of the clear blue. I had bad issue and I don't know how long.
A lot of stuff.
I I don't know if I just ate something and it didn't hit right or something, but boy, it.
Got one that called in today, and that's, he thought it maybe got food poisoning or something, but I wonder if it's the same thing that Brunel and I had, but he called it sick today, so.
I am. Well,
A lot of
out of
stuff
clear blue, started feeling kind of.
I finally got my energy back.
Well. May have my midlife crisis over the,
What'd you buy? You got a Harley now?
no, no, we didn't go that far. No, it's not yet anyway. No. We bought a new guitar.
Oh, cool.
Good, you're for sure gonna be in the guitar things.
It's not gonna be air guitar probably. It's gonna be real guitar, but yeah,
You know how to play?
a little bit.
You're gonna be practicing more?
Mhm.
Cool.
Acoustic guitar.
No, I bought an electric.
Oh, your apartment. Well, there's next.
I didn't buy an amp. I didn't buy an amp. I didn't buy an amp.
Amp that's about this.
See with his whammy bar.
Uh-huh.
Clear out the building.
Yeah, I do have a tremolo bar. Got 4 different bridges on it. Full 6-string, full Ibanez 6-string.
Where'd you get it from?
Manny Music over here, across the way.
You know,
I'll show you a picture of it later.
Always wished I was more talented in something like that. You know?
I'm never gonna be really talented. It's just more of a hobby.
Yeah, even that, you know.
No performances in the park, amount.
I'm not gonna put that much pressure on myself just yet. I played a little bass when I was in high school and college, but
So this is electric.
yeah, that's the only thing I can grow at this point in time.
This is electric guitar though.
It is like,
bass.
no,
Pretty neat. Be fun.
need a hobby, need a second hobby.
So what's your first one?
I guess just what I'm doing.
What was the topic of discussion this Saturday?
It's education and elections.
Education and elections,
That's a good topic.
local elections, or just the whole?
A little bit of both. I mean, it's kind of tied into the end of the session there, but education took the bigger part of it.
What aspect, funding or lack of, or?
Everything. It's been a consistent conversation for 2+ years.
Something else, you got some good civic goals there.
Oh, gosh. Right out of the oven too.
Oh, that would be.
Well, I came in and everybody was pretty much already there, so I thought, you know what, they'll probably get wiped out, so I'll wait till the end. And they'll probably have some new ones, but sure enough, I bought a couple cookies. They're not too bad.
I've never been in there. You know, all sorts of things.
They got some sausage rolls, they got some beer rocks, and they got cinnamon rolls.
If we have a breakfast beer rock, it's not too bad. And the cinnamon rolls are good. Yeah, I agree. I think Lori popped in there in the midst of that meeting.
Oh, did she?
I think so. I think that's who it was.
Or Todd, or just her?
I think it was just her.
It's only, somebody wanted me to talk about stuff and went to this. Was the service flight.
Like,
Oh,
yeah,
I've never been in that, but it's just a little place. It was Friday morning, it was packed.
it's really popular.
Yeah, it is. I've been,
Mid-morning, it was, every table, I don't think. That would be fun.
I've had a couple of one-on-one meetings there, and every time I go in there, it's pretty much packed. And a new burger place opened up over there.
Yeah, we're. Sugar.
Bird place, and there's therapy over there or something
Yeah.
too.
Oh, yeah, they have.
I'm too scared to go in there because I'm gonna walk out with a bunch of stuff that I don't really need.
Salad and pie.
But that's the problem. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna look salad pie. So I'm going with this sour. Unless I can figure out a way to incorporate the two. I don't
They
know.
have some other things. They have like, I was in there the other day, they have really good chicken pot pies and meat pot.
Oh.
Some vegetable pot pies. And so I got that, but I had to get a
Yeah, see.
little personal pie,
Oh.
cherry pie. You can get a little, like this stuff.
See, we got. The husband's running for.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I saw that. Supposed to came in late on Friday and filed up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, we have 4 in each so far.
No, well, officially.
not officially.
No.
Hassel haven't filed. You just announced.
I know it didn't. John filed, right?
There's 3.
Oh, okay.
Very
Ready for Cory?
Yes, according.
Doing the math, right?
Good morning, Commission.
Morning.
Cory Meyer, ITGIS Director here for budget request presentation. Nothing real wild, but I will go down through and explain some of the changes. One of the first significant changes is that we have moved from 9 staff members down to 8 for the 2024 budget. Would point out that you can see that back in 22 we were at 10, so we have actually trimmed down our numbers as we have become more proficient. I would say that the use of our technology has been the biggest part to that, which of course, as should be the case with our department. If we can find some way technologically to help, that's what we do. But through our tools, resources, and other efficiencies in the products that we've purchased, that has allowed us to lower that number of employees. And so you can see that from the 23 to 24, we go from 982,000 on the personnel services down to 913,000. Some change there. So a nice savings in the overall. Moving down into our contractual services, this area is up this year. The up in it is that this is the 2-year cycle. The 24 will be the 2-year cycle for a flight. We had already gotten a quote for that, and we know that that amount of money is $190,000. And so in the end, my contractual is only up a grand total of $197,000, and 190 of that being the flight there. We have locked many of our contracts into multi-year agreements to try to save. Of course, at some point when those come due for renewal, they'll probably try to catch up with us, but we are in one of those years where we are a benefit to that coming in 24. So the line there of 2430 that goes from 460 to 657,000 accounts for that 197. And of that, as I said, 190 is the flight. 2450 is one that's up 3,000, but I think we'll see that in future years come down. Most of that is consumed by our Cisco networking equipment and our maintenance in there. They're changing their model from a year-to-year maintenance to subscription based, as which a lot of things do. So now at the purchase of that equipment, we can buy a multi-year subscription, bringing the cost down. So this year, as we've begun purchases of replacement equipment, we have bought 5 and 7-year subscription agreements covering the maintenance. So I do foresee this to be a number come down. It may come down in 24 for us as we do a replacement of items this year, and then they will not be a maintenance renewal for 24. So, but I can't account for that now at this particular time, because if we stay with the equipment we have, we will have to keep it under maintenance and support. Commodities, real no change there. Those are the simple items within the, our supplies and publications and some of those. So no change in that. Capital outlay, we have some movement here, overall down from 197,000 to 149,500. Our changes in there, up in telecommunications routers, we're down 10,000. That's different now because we are transitioning some of our equipment this year, and we will not need those kind of money. So we're getting those wrapped up. A little bit of help out of that is some of the other projects that we've had where we were able to purchase multiple pieces of equipment together at one time and have a savings. So we've purchased ahead on some routers. Are those devices that are the intercommunication of the county. So our building complex talking to the health department, EMS complex, talking to the public works. Those are what those do. That's the switchboard there for communication. Those are crucial pieces, but we're working on upgrades and getting those replaced. As we come down to the 4053 line, which is servers, this year it's blank. There's not any. We did not have server replacement. In 2024, we will have 2 servers that we'll need to replace. And that's part of what I try to do here with the budget. I'll also point out the line 4056, which had 80,000 in it for 23, and it doesn't have anything in for 24. So we tried to offset that flight of 190,000 and not have these other purchases in that same year, so that we would see a large, maybe $300,000, you know. So we're trying to keep those peaks and valleys as minimal as possible, and keep it as flat as possible as far as the budget goes. So that's why some of those don't have any dollar figures to them. Now, it's also why we come down from the 197 to 149.5. But I would say I can tell you that in 2025, we'll have another storage device to replace and 2 servers. So this one will come back up to that 200,000, but we won't have the 190 flight up there in 2430. So we really are working hard to try to keep things as flat as possible. We do foresee some increases, probably in some of the hardware costs, as everyone else is seeing. So we do have a 7% overall increase built in. But for the most part, we've really kind of held a fairly flat line. Just the flight is what really is showing a difference in our budget this year. One of the things we're also doing with the flight, I don't know that we'll maybe get this arranged for the 24 year, but we're working on it. We're trying to do a multi-county flight. Working with our vendor, if we can work together and have multiple counties flown at the same time, then that lowers the cost for all of us. So we're in communications actually with Potawatomi and Geary counties, and when those, to see if we can align our years of when flights are done, and then it benefits us all. A larger area, planes in the air, less times they go up, overall savings. So we're trying to find any way, any avenue we can that we can, find savings and bring our costs down in any way. Then I would just say some of the projects that we'll see coming up in 24, the flight already mentioned. We are trying to plan, if we don't get it done this year, we'll in 24, I would like to do an audio video upgrade here in the commission. This projector this will be its last year that it'll be covered under maintenance. And to tell you guys, I will be going away from a projection and a screen system. I'll go to a TV. That actually is a $7,000 projector. I can put 110 inch TV over there for $5,000. And we'll have a lot better picture quality, clarity, sound, and so forth. So that's a project that I've got that I'm planning on.
We do Saturday watch parties to make up the difference for it.
I didn't hear
that. 110 inch.
Yeah, I don't think your badge will let you in. I don't know that your badge will let you in the building. No, I'm just.
I mean, you haven't been invited.
Oh. Oh.
Man. Great. Yeah.
That hurt.
We're also going to be going through the conference rooms throughout the entire county, working on some sound upgrades. We recently just last week, we did one in the second floor conference room, added some overhead sound to it. That way it's not the high pitchy type sound coming out of the TVs, and it helps with clarity. You can hear better in there. We're going to be looking at doing some of those with the budget. Also, 3 elections in 24, which I know has been brought up. We'll certainly have our staff out and busy, which we are so glad we can help do. Absolutely doing that. And however the EMS station rolls in and its completion and so forth. But those will be our big items that we'll see. None that are really a budget effect, but in amongst all the other work we have going on, those will be things there. So I thought I'd mention that. So, any questions from me budget wise? Anything?
No.
I really appreciate that you work on your costs, keep them down and strive for that. That's
No.
good.
I appreciate that. Yeah,
That's 190,000 there. I mean, you're within 80,000 of that. You've got that more than half to get that done. So
I've got projections or numbers back 6 years, and then I have them going forward 7 years and look for trends and patterns that I see, and I try to work off of those. And so far they've come to fruition and they've shown true. So I'm really comfortable with where we're at and I think everything will be a good year. And amongst everything, we're still able to do upgrades throughout the county and departments. We'll be doing some monitor upgrades. Actually, clerk's office is the next one we'll be going through. We just did treasurers. And so amongst all this, we're still everywhere we can save, then we're putting back to make sure that our technology is kept up without the budget climbing as well. So, yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for it.
Thanks,
Commissioner, you have Lori Feldkamp at 9:15.
What size is this building?
That I do not know what side of the screen that is. Let's tell you the truth.
I don't know.
It's very big.
It's big. Not very clear. It's probably the lights.
Say it's probably around 80 for you.
Looks about right. I'm just trying to figure out where you're gonna put 110. I guess right there.
It's meant to be right there. Cover up that whole window.
Maybe some. Those doors, pocket doors.
With their beams right there, aren't there?
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah. those
Beams right
beams,
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, those are immovable columns.
Mhm.
That's one of the bad things about this building. It didn't change much.
Well, it's safe.
Cannot move those columns. Always suggested painting them with invisible paint.
Then we have people walking into it, so it becomes a safety issue.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Lori, how you doing?
Oh, day outside.
Mhm.
Yeah, the morning is.
It makes you want to play hooky.
Mhm.
Too much to do, darn it.
Wasn't that the case?
There's also a lot to do at my house. I can, do some yard work, things like that. Yeah.
I was doing that all day yesterday. Got a lot done, but it didn't seem like I got enough done, you know?
Oh, I know.
8 to 5 yesterday and just finally told my wife, I'm not done, but I'm done.
You never,
That's a day.
as soon as you get something done, well then, got this fixed up, now that looks better, I mean, you don't work here.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah. That's why a lot of people don't retire.
I did get the gardens in really good shape, so
Yeah,
I
this
just gotta stay on top of it.
is good for good.
Mother Nature to help you.
Got the garden. in good shape.
Got it all detailed again, so
Like maybe Wednesday, Thursday, maybe.
I'm hoping it needs some, it's Memorial Weekend, it's gotta rain this weekend, there's gotta be a storm this weekend, it just happens that way.
So,
Everyone
Yeah,
goes to
every
the lake.
Memorial Weekend, yeah.
Everyone goes to the lake, so.
So I remember as a kid, we would always go camping, but we'd spend, I don't know how much time inside because it'd be raining.
Supposed to plant the corn in my fields this week, so that'd be good.
I hope to see some vegetables at the end of the year. Just put that
Have
out there.
some for you.
Oh.
All my squash and cucumbers and zucchini are up like crazy.
Same with us, with our Zedale farm, we've got, things are really going crazy right now. Growing pretty
Fresh
fresh.
onions with dinner last night.
Seemed like it took forever for everything to green up and just like overnight, boom, it was there.
All it took was a little bit of rain and then,
Mm.
yeah.
Boom.
They started going crazy.
Eighties, which I haven't grown. They are.
That's
Take it off. I mean, the. They're making something down underneath there.
That's the thing, you never know until you dig. Ready?
Great morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Feel like I was just here. Oh, yeah, because I was.
That's why I thought you're on board.
I get to talk about something other than budget, which is always nice, nice to do. Just give you some updates on what's going on at Big Lakes right now. As you know, we have our Raise the Roof capital project that's going on. We have started phase 1 of our roof replacement, which is underway by Schultz Construction. They have completed the roof replacement over the additions. Now they're on the big building itself. So it's noisy. Again, it's a metal roof, and so of course they take the metal roof. There isn't a whole lot between that and where everybody is underneath. So we get to hear lots of conversations, and they will talk about eating watermelon, not. So it's kind of fun. But anyway, we did have some issues with the rain. Of course, you can't never get anything completely sealed up when you're in the process of replacing it. And so we had a waterfall or two when we had those nice big rains. But fortunately, it was actually in our work center area where it's concrete floors. So there wasn't minimal damage. But as I told them, going forward, now you're talking about carpet and electronics and things like that. So we've got to be a lot more careful and measured on when we stop work and how we seal everything up. So, but we're making good progress, and they've been great to work with. So very happy with that. Our fundraising campaign, we're at 22% of goal of our 2 million, and we have several grants that are pending that we should find out about here in the next couple months, along with our tax credit application that you all helped us with by providing a letter of support. We should find that out in July. So hopefully we will qualify for all of those and kind of get things going with our fundraising efforts. The legislator election is, of course, they're out of their session, but that doesn't mean that things aren't hopping with us regarding government, specifically federal government. We've got 3 different regulatory changes that are occurring. One is currently going on. It's called the Home and Community-Based Service, HCBS Final Settings Rule implementation. That's currently going on right now. Again, complying with new regulations and so forth. We have the access to Medicaid services regulations that are now out for comment that will be implemented in 2024. And then we have our source of funding, of course, is Medicaid, and it's Medicaid waivers called 1915C waiver. Well, that waiver is up for renewal. So we're going through the comment period there, as well as rewriting some things at the state level. And then, of course, the CanCare MCO contracts are going to be coming to an end. And so the RFPs are going to be coming out here probably this fall, in which there will be lots of comment about that. I'm anticipating that, currently the contractors in the state of Kansas are United, Aetna, and Sunflower, which is a division of Centene. There are other insurance companies that are interested. So there's going to be a bidding process and all this. So we can see some changes there, probably again in 2024. So lots of things going on from a regulatory standpoint that does affect Big Lakes, and we'll just continue to keep an eye on what it is that we've got to change to stay in compliance. So our 50th anniversary, of course, this year. May is Let Us Eat Cake month. We have a cake decorating contest that's going on. In fact, we've gotten area businesses involved. We're expecting to get about 15 different cakes in on Wednesday. We have a client committee that's going to vote on the winners, and then we're going to all eat cake on Friday. So a lot of fun there. And then in June, we're having our Summer of 73 client summer party on June 16th, where we're inviting clients and staff and all of their families as well. We're going to have food and games and dancing and a lot of fun with that activity as well. Probably the best news that I have for you, I mentioned this during my budget presentation, is that we've actually opened admissions for the first time in about 6 years. We are currently, let's see what I have. We offered 12 different people. 3 did decline, but we got 4 that are moving into residential, and 9 that are taking day services, and we're getting them started. I have 3 that have already started, 3 that are set for June, and 3 more that'll probably be in July. So excited to get that going. As I said, we're not expanding services. This is just filling some holes that we have because we've had admission shutdowns for so long. So excited to see some new faces and getting some new folks in for services. So that's pretty much it as far as my update, unless you have any questions for me. Okay, well, I'll see you in a couple months.
Thank
Okay.
you, Lord.
See you on
You
Thursday.
see me on Thursday, that's right.
Mhm.
You guys have a great day.
You too.
Thanks, Commissioner. Press conference. How's Amanda doing?
Well, how are you guys doing?
Good.
Right, good weekend?
Too bad. Didn't do a whole lot, but that's okay.
That's the best kind of weekend sometimes.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Good,
Good.
how are you?
Good. Good morning. Oh. Went back to the gym for a bit of a break. Sorry for the extra noises.
I've been at it for 4 years. I get the same noises. So yeah, I get it.
You can kind of blame our age too.
I don't want to, but yeah.
Sometimes I get out of the chair, like I catch myself, I'm like, I didn't even make all that. And
Getting up from ground levels.
The floor's a lot farther down.
Yeah. Out
Like
the
my
garden.
grandkids aren't that little anymore. They're bigger.
Yeah.
Looking out the garden, it's like, not bad sitting down and looking there, having to get back up and down.
So I noticed working in the garden so long yesterday, for a long time. My back last night, I could still upper and lower leg. Good.
man,
Got one of the, I found it, knobs, those little carts, got like 3 wheels on this. On it, that you can just roll up and down. Helps a lot.
Yeah, I've seen.
I didn't know what, I'm like, hey, I
oh,
always wanted to wear, but I got. It was like a fear of options.
You say, well,
One little sheet
time, please.
spins around, it's like a little 3-wheel thing. See, I sit there.
I haven't seen those.
Yeah.
I got
The
one
only
that's-
trouble is, we only got one.
Oh,
We're fighting.
I know who won that fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the veggies should all the time.
Yeah.
You say it's fun this weekend, got up and planted. Yeah, things get interrupted. We can get the stuff out there. She wanted to. And mow, of course. So, like I finished tonight.
grass is
All
growing
that big-
fast.
All that big rain,
Mhm.
we wanted for that.
Creates money.
The vegetables like it, so does the grass.
Grass does. Yeah, we got our shade, but place where the shade says we can, that's pretty good right now.
They have one of those little chairs that you can turn it over and it's down and turn it up. It's got a seat across it. It's got 4 legs on it. Problem is, if you set it like on uneven ground. so I tipped over backwards. I don't know, this doesn't work. And you can't set it on top of mulch. Yeah, I just, it's really unbelievable. So the wheels are pretty good.
Make nice ones. This has got the big plastic wheel.
Mhm.
There was a nice one at our clerk's conference. We have a silent auction. We have a scholarship fund. And so a lot of clerks bring items that you've been on, silent auction. Someone brought one of the nice versions of the garden ones with the bigger,
Air tires.
rubber tires and it's painted green, with a
Oh,
garden. And it was a nice seat on it.
but it went pretty quick.
I don't know what the last price was, because the silent auction for like a day and a half. I don't know what the last price was for, but I'm sure it went for a pretty good price.
Really nice one, thing, hide that somewhere in my ears. It's such a.
Yeah, this was a nice one.
It does help the knees a lot. It's the problem.
I have a pad with like. Neil on.
Oh, yeah.
Neil like this. And you operated me. The other one.
Yeah, my roof. It's time to fit my roof bar already. And it's not real. All the plants made it through the winter. It's unusual. I'm gonna be smart and cover my straw last year like I should every year, and I did. They all made it. Time for some strawberry rhubarb pie here shortly.
My grandma. I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna picking those and blackberries and blueberries and raspberries up on this farm up just outside of Effingham in Atchison County.
My wife, she grew up in Portland, Oregon, raspberries and blueberries, all that just grew like crazy.
Well, they seem to do with it is put it in beer.
Blueberry beer.
Yeah,
Where at, up there?
yeah.
Oh, really? Never heard of that.
That's the next thing I want in my garden. I want to get some last.
I tried that one year and never had any luck. But nature, I've got a great gooseberry bush. And it just came up natural, kind of below my garden. The last year I got a good crop, and this year that thing is huge. They are a pain, literally, to pick.
I think got the thorns on.
Thorns and the berries are, you gotta get a ton of them to
Oh,
get
you
enough
have
to
to
make
make
anything, Yeah, I've got a really good gooseberry bush.
They got some five of those blackberries, raspberries, that are the top 4, but they're not completely.
I've got some of those wild blackberries along our hillside. They're good to eat. They come in. I saw some of the plants are growing.
Those blueberries because I like blueberries. But I'm afraid so. Yeah, I mean, these are good, wherever they come from.
All my new trees are doing good so far. That was great.
I like that, the idea that, but that's. The other day.
Yeah.
I suppose you drew a little tiny little hole.
Yes, that's what he said. Just sitting there.
Which they make was. Plastic bag.
The green bag.
They look weird, but.
Yeah, I saw them around for the schools over here.
Yeah, just put it.
We've got those over Amber's Park, with a bunch of trees. Those bangs, yeah. This is now- A lot of people make fun.
Someone went last week.
Yeah.
And that. Parking lot, the soccer field, kind of next to the driveway, I was parked halfway to Keats, I think.
Yeah, there's that parking lot packed the other day, and it was very thirsty. It's really
It's a
good.
soccer coach. My. Wilson. Database.
Oh, okay.
We're sitting there watching them on the inside. Thinking of, I asked my daughter, our daughter, I said, what's your coach's name? What's Mike's son? I thought that's who that was.
Ready, Catherine?
Well, I'm ready, what is John?
He is not here.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. John.
You should just read the proclamation.
Oh, without it? Okay, well, that's fine. It's-
Better be working.
Remember what I said about cutting his budget?
I guess so.
Fancy paper didn't even show up.
Okay, well, we have a proclamation today for National Public Works Week, which is May 21st and the 27th. Whereas public works infrastructure, facilities, and services are of vital importance to sustainable communities and to the health, safety, and well-being of the people of Raleigh County, Kansas. And whereas such facilities and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees from state and local units of government and the private sector, who are responsible for and must plan, design, build, operate, and maintain the transportation, water supply, sewage, and refuse disposal systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential to serve our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizen, civic leaders, and children in the United States of America to gain knowledge of and to maintain a progressive interest and understand the importance of public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2023 marks the 63rd annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association. Now, therefore, let it be known that the Board of County Commissioners of Raleigh County, Kansas, do hereby urge Raleigh County citizens, join with representatives of Raleigh County Public Works, the American Public Works Association, and government agencies in activities and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and need to recognize substantial contributions they have made to our national health, safety, welfare, and economy.
I will accept on behalf of John Eleanor. Yes,
Okay, would you like to say something?
sure. We've been trying this year to celebrate the work of our great public works staff, sharing like the Tabor Valley Road Bridge and then the Wildcat Park Bridge that were built in-house, which is truly an impressive feat. The work that they've done over the winter months to keep the roads clear, going out as early as I think 2 or 3 in the morning sometimes. And we have a lot of staff. I can't recall the number right offhand, but we'll do some work to celebrate them in social media this week. Honor their hard work. And I would love to get a picture. I will, maybe of all three of you,
Okay,
holding a proclamation, and that'll start the acknowledgement for us. And thank you all. Okay, and 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. While we're here, may I get a group picture of the three of you? I've noticed some of the news organizations are using an outdated photo when they post a story about the commission. So let me just get one of the three of you.
I'm outdated.
Another building.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Those are genuine smiles. Oops.
oh, God. All over.
Next commissioner.
That one needs to- I-
9:40.
Came apart and I tried to kind of fix it. I don't know, you might put your magic on it when you get a chance, Vivian.
Sure. I'll come in this afternoon.
Might need to, like I said, we might need to scoop these out maybe a little bit to give us more space.
Are they scootable?
Yeah, they're
Not
not,
attached. are
they're not attached, I don't think. The public works can do that when they're,
That would be quite a job to scoot all these out. You have to make it wider to scoot it in.
when they're in here doing the map, can they maybe do these desks out just a little bit, give us a little bit more space with the flags?
Little bit as in how much they will ask me.
So this much,
You can just-
6 inches, but
6 inches.
which means they need to expand it this way to push it that way, right? It's gonna take 2 or 3 weeks.
oh yeah, it'll take about people, that's for sure. They have you ask them. You got all the technology connected to them.
Yeah, that's what I do.
It's not easy.
The wiring.
Just-
Works.
While we're at it.
If there's not a-
Rearrange the room.
If there's not enough room, just drop off that nest of Betty.
Yeah.
Tell it and the podium were made at the same time after we got a full-time county
Yeah.
counselor to attempt to match.
Hmm.
That's why it was a little different colored.
Maybe we ought to rearrange the room.
Might wait until we get the technological stuff.
Yeah,
in.
you say rearrange room, you gotta move that, you gotta move that.
Well, I was thinking. Move us around there. Put the TV there and have the podium there, and there,
Put the TV where?
on that wall.
That's what people want in.
Yeah.
And that's,
Big place to
And that's
put up
our-
the door and.
one of the things is that's our overflow room, for big meetings too, that people said to see.
It's hard to see it when you're sitting here, it's hard to see this. I know for me, it's hard. to see. Get it tall. So it's-
We can build it exactly like you wanted on the 4th floor,
And then we won't get anybody later. Nobody to find.
as opposed to today.
We only have you there shows up.
Or it's the opposite when you have a Evergy hearing and there's 200 people.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. It's feast or famine.
I liked the other day, we made a motion to take the meeting outside.
Yeah,
Good idea.
was gonna do it again this morning, but I figured I gave up after the first time.
Could move up, is there a rooftop?
There is a rooftop.
Yeah, there is.
We could set up.
Up on the 3rd floor, we can set up on. Better and better all the time, huh, Commissioner Ford?
No,
Yeah, we can do a little patio up there, like a break room patio kind of thing. Is that what you're talking about?
Ready?
I think so. I can't-
You can get back down, yeah.
You go ahead, I'll figure out where.
All
She's
right.
got it up here for you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Amanda Webb, Planning Director, here with the Comprehensive Plan Update Monthly Update. Just kind of want to run over the things we've been up to these last several weeks in relation to our comp plan update. Just a quick summary. These first few paragraphs, I think I said it last time, but these first few paragraphs are going to kind of always hang out in the staff report each time we do this. Just kind of gives a little bit of background what a comp plan is, kind of what we're up to, the very, very basic. So if somebody comes in, you know, an audience member, you know, comes in, you know, 6 months in, they'll kind of know, you know, kind of have that summary of what we're up to. So yes, it looks familiar because it's the same thing. So just want to give that quick background. I want to talk about our TAC, our Comprehensive Plan Committee, a little bit here. The list here shows who we've gotten, basically, who has committed to being a part of our committee or expressed interest in being a part of our committee from these different entities, different agencies. Right now, we have about 21 members, which I'm really excited about. You know, it's always nice to get interest and people interested in wanting to be on board. We got a really good mixture of folks from different agencies, as you can see, different perspectives, different you know, areas of expertise, areas of background. Now, that said, and I don't have it in this one, who I've sent it to, I don't have it in this particular presentation. That said, I'm always happy and interested to get more. So we don't have somebody yet from one of the small cities. I do have a couple from City of Manhattan, which is fantastic. Would love to get at least somebody from, even if it's a resident of the small cities, you know, somebody who works for the small city, anything like that. I would love to get at least somebody from one of those cities. I think would be really, preferably all of them, but if we could at least get one of them. I see both of you writing down maybe some names here, so. I think
No,
it would
just
be really, really nice to
One
get.
meeting all nights.
Okay, perfect.
I
Be fantastic.
myself a note.
Yeah, and I think it would be nice to have somebody at least from at least one of the small cities, so to get that perspective. I have folks from Manhattan Township and Ashland Township, so we kind of have the middle township and the southern township. Would be nice to get somebody from a North County Township would be nice too. Of course, the idea is, you know, just to kind of get as much, you know, geographically widespread as possible, different perspectives, different, you know, people from, you know, again, all kinds of different backgrounds, entities and whatever. So I have come up with a few more folks, even since, you know, we've originally started doing this. I thought of some late last week that I'll reach out to. And again, yeah, if you folks have any ideas that we haven't already talked about, please let me know. And I can reach out to. And another question about this group, of course, this is kind of a, I don't know what we call it, but a as needed or a temporary committee. This isn't something that will last forever, just for the life of the project. So do you folks want to appoint this group, or how would you like to approach that?
How has it happened in past years?
So I talked a little bit to Cindy late last week just to get, and I honestly wasn't sure how it worked. But it sounds like because it's kind of like a temporary, not a permanent, it's on board, it's not, you know, something that's going to exist forever, if you will. We don't necessarily need to, you know, have the sheets filled out or do formal appointments, but we certainly can. There's no, you know, saying we can't do this or we can't do that. It's really kind of how you folks want to appoint members of the board of the committee, I should say. So.
Yeah, not necessarily. But it would be good to get, you know, is Ogden in here?
No, none of the small cities.
I've got somebody in mind for that. Now she's mentioned it.
Yeah. And I reached out to, of course, people at the small cities. They've been on my list, but I haven't received any response And I'm sure they're probably a little busy and whatnot, but if I could get somebody, it'd be great. And obviously, as you see, I don't have names in here yet. Just kind of wanted to give that a little bit of time, and then also from you folks, find out how you want to appoint people, or if you just want me to, here's all the names that we have, or, you know, again, however you want to approach this.
You might want somebody from the Rural Economic Development Board.
I do have Darren Solon actually from Chamber, and he is on VDAP as well. Not that I'm not happy to have more.
Would he be representing the chamber or the Rural Economic Development Board?
Probably in that respect, I would assume maybe the
Both?
chamber, but he could probably do both, or we'd probably mention at our next Economic Development Board meeting if there's anybody else.
Yeah, I
Who would
would.
like
I would
to
We
do
got
that.
one other member,
Yeah,
we actually.
that's true. That's true. We
He's
do
on
have
that
that
too.
gentleman. But yeah, he would be kind of, if we're talking representation, he could probably be representing the Ashland Township, but I can certainly bring it up in our next meeting and see if there's anybody else who like to be a part of it. So. Any other thoughts on that committee? I would like to get everybody on board, if you will.
We need anybody from maybe extension?
They are on my list, so I haven't yet reached out to, I mean, technically, I know extension is only sort of a county department, but I haven't reached out to our county departments yet, because there are definitely folks from some of the different departments that will need to be involved. Not necessarily as soon as our TAC committee. I'm envisioning getting, and we've all talked about it, but I'm envisioning getting our county departments on just a little bit later. I want to get some public input, and I want to get our TAC started, and then I'll bring in this again. This is just in my head. Then I'll bring in some of the county employees when I have some information to get them involved, and then kind of get them to start thinking about if that makes sense. That's kind of my thoughts at this point.
Toss back and forth on this one, but does it not hurt to have somebody from the university on there?
And there's
I've reached out to K-State. I haven't received word back. So if you have somebody that somebody specific I might reach out to, happy to do that, because I think it would be, I have somebody from Manhattan Tech on there, which is wonderful. I reached out to the Christian College, and I also reached out to K-State and haven't heard back from those folks. So if you have specific folks,
Okay.
so I think, yeah, I don't have anybody who I've heard back from on the school districts either. So if you have anybody that I could, you know, in particular that I could reach out to, please let me know.
and maybe Fort Riley.
I have somebody from
You have-
Raleigh.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
It'd be a pretty big committee, it'd be
Yeah.
my concern.
right, and that's why.
Talked about Getting group and
Yeah.
dividing up into different,
Exactly, yeah, 'cause it's hard, I mean, even at the number that we're at is
Yeah,
is
that's too
technically
much.
large. You know, you don't want everybody in the same room, and yeah, so the idea is to kind of do the subcommittees, so then everybody can, you know, have some input, and then we can bring it together. So. All right, so the next item to talk about is consultant assistance. And I believe I mentioned this last time I was before you last week. Unfortunately, I didn't get any submittals for our RFQ. I guess I maybe anticipated getting at least one or two, but I did hear back from a couple of the agencies that I sent it to. And they just said they just don't have the staff or the bandwidth or whatever to, you know, to dedicate, which I appreciate the honesty.
yeah,
I would hate to
rather
get
get
a.
in and not be able to do anything.
Exactly. So kind of tossing around some thoughts, and again, I know Commissioner Ford has sent me some names, a couple other people have given me some names. If I can at least get somebody to help, somebody non-county staff, if you will, to help facilitate public input, public outreach, and the committee, the TAC, basically kind of just, you know,
again, facilitating, coordinating, all of that sort of stuff, rather than have, of course, I'll be heavily involved in that, but I just think it would be better if we can have a third party, if you will, kind of the go-between or the coordinator for that information. I just think that would work a little bit better. So that's kind of what I'm thinking at this point. Again, there's a few names to reach out to. I kind of have to think in my head how I want that to work, and then reach out to some folks and see, again, if nothing else, if we can get somebody to help kind of coordinate some of that, that engagement. A lot of the other stuff we can probably, figure out for ourselves. It'd be nice to have help with some of the technical stuff, but we can manage it. I really think the important part is the engagement with the TAC and the public. So that's kind of what I'm thinking at this point. So. And then the next item with this, I'm just rolling along. So if you guys have any questions, please stop me. And if you have anything to add, please stop me as well. So the survey, we talked about this. I don't think I wound up having an update for you folks in April, just schedule wise, just didn't wind up happening. So we talked about the survey, the draft survey a couple months ago, and Vivian and I have worked on it some, and I have it before you again. Again, still just a draft. It's a little bit, of course, different than what we had before, but not a ton, if you will. I know we talked about concern with how long it is, and it didn't get any shorter.
No.
That was our intention, but it didn't get any shorter. And, we went back and forth on it. And yes, there's definitely a thing as survey fatigue. There's definitely a thing. How many questions are on here? I'm not sure I want to do this. So, but it's hard to, it's hard to figure out where to chop, but still get a full picture of what people want, if that makes sense. This is the first survey, the first public survey that we're going to send out with this. I'm trying to make it comprehensive, if you will, kind of hit most, if not all, of the highlights. So if you folks have any thoughts on maybe, maybe we don't need to ask that this round or whatnot, please.
One thing I would suggest is putting the demographics, which is the first section, put them at the end.
Put it at the end.
Because, like I say, people get tired. I do, when I get these things, I go through a few pages and that's, and I don't know, and I'm not sure how much. The one of where you live and stuff, but dividing down by every 5 years, how many years you've lived here and how every 10 years of how old you are. Does that really make any difference? Making some broader scopes, but I think big thing, move the demographics to the end, so people, if they get tired, that's the part they don't fill.
Sure. Sure.
Because what you want is the question, the questions of what do you want, that's the important part we're looking at.
That's what we're looking for. Obviously, the demographics is, used to kind of categorize, people who live here want this, or people in this age range want this. And also it's a really good way to see how our demographics have changed since the last time we did this. That's important information too. And we can go crazy with the demographics. There's a lot of more questions we could ask.
Yeah.
We did kind of narrow it down to, narrowed it down because again, there is a lot that we can ask, and some, little sticky questions that we don't necessarily want to get into.
Yeah.
We can definitely move it towards the end.
Because, I know that's
right in the meat of it.
in the overall thing, but that's less important than what people.
In the grand scheme of things, yeah.
What we're wanting is the answers to the other type of questions of what do you see in the county?
Yeah.
And also asking which township, I'm not sure.
People don't know what township.
If the people who live in the cities don't, and unless you say, if you're outside the city, which township are you in? Because I'm not sure.
Can't you put that at number one as they live in a township and then you can list it? Or
Yeah,
not
we could
list
do
it?
that. And that's something we went back and forth on originally after one of our first conversations, that, let's just take the township off, but then it came back because again, it's that whole categorizing. Of course, somebody who lives in one township is probably gonna
prioritize different things than somebody who lives in this township, and it's just kind of important to know, okay, well, this is what we need to focus on for up here, but we need to kind of think about this for down here.
Yeah, yeah, you could put on that if you live outside which township.
Yeah,
Yeah, but we could do it like that, you know, and kind of combine, still get the information if people want to give it to us, but.
it's still
Yeah,
way
that-
too long.
I don't disagree, but I'm not sure how to, shorten it up. Without losing. Some potentially important. Comments that we might get from folks. Just based on the things that we've heard over the years, what, just different things that we've heard from folks.
Did they do something when they did the, in 08 or 09, whenever they did this, did they do something like that, you started?
The survey was a lot different back then. It was shorter, I will tell you that. It was a little bit more ag focused. And I want to make it a little broader than it was before. But yes, they did definitely have the survey. They had some of the some of the demographic questions. But yes, I'll be honest, it was definitely shorter than what we have here.
Well, maybe a little, I don't think it's too long in there, though, I think they're generally pretty quick and easy questions to answer. I thought about how to shorten it up too, but I mean, at the end of the day, you really need some answers to some questions to make it useful too. And I think, none of them are too technical or too hard to answer. I agree, I like shorter ones too, but I don't think this is horribly long. It's pretty easy to check off on several of them.
Yeah.
In 20 some odd second. To
I'd say
answer.
that's why I thought
Right.
it'd be easy,
Yeah.
but the.
Yeah, I have no problem with the
Yeah.
order, but I
So
just
that
don't,
people
I know how that's useful too. And I think
Use-
actually amount of time you've lived here is important. Because
Yeah.
you want to know if transitionary people are gonna guide your comprehensive as opposed to us long-termers that have been here. And so, yeah, because that concerns me as well.
Well, and is this gonna be online? Or what, or how is it gonna be distributed?
So a few different ways, and I did include that, I'm sorry, I kind of skipped over that just to get right to the survey. But we have a few different options that we're looking at that I've included in your memo there. Most of it's going to be electronic, if you will, but we know that not everybody wants to do things electronically. They don't have internet or they just, I don't want to do that. So we will have hard copies available for folks. Maybe then I talked about the QR code, you're standing in the lobby waiting for your number to get called to the treasurer. Oh, let me sit here. I'm sitting here anyway. Let me, snap it with my phone and take a quick survey. And just, kind of dispersing it as much as we can. I think we said it would do a survey monthly, I believe, or one of those.
Yeah, do something online that's pretty easy to use, and then to avoid having, we have a couple of open-ended questions. And didn't want to get into, we don't have staff to enter everything manually, having to read someone's handwriting, it could be a little bit tough. And knowing that 96% of residents here in Riley County have internet at home, it's gonna skew a little bit more towards the online, but we have an option as well if people want to do it that way, so. But then also for a mailing piece, and Rich and I have talked about the best way to reach kind of rural county residents, probably through direct mail. And we thought about taking a random sampling of, because doing a mailing to every resident in the county is going to be pretty pricey. But just even taking a postcard, having a QR code on it, so somebody could scan it and take their survey pretty quickly, would hopefully be something people would do. But trying to multi-pronged.
Along that line, you could put that QR code in Riley County in. All residents will get that, so that'd be a good way to get it too, because everyone gets that.
Because especially, well, because there's one of the counties a month, because it goes to everybody in North County, because it's for the school district news, they're the official one, so they give it, it's sent to every resident in the two
Perfect.
school districts out there.
She can tell you which one that is and be sure it got in on that one a couple of times.
Well, I noticed the Mercury in yesterday's paper, they had a whole back page with it was like a questionnaire that people could actually fill out. As in addition to, the QR codes too, and it was on all businesses and I'm trying to figure out which is the best one, that kind, maybe, I don't know what that would cost, but, you know, maybe I do it
This
as
age.
Yeah.
information,
Trying to see if I,
give us a break on that.
we can keep that on our back.
Yeah,
pocket if we
that's
don't.
not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Well, yes,
Not me.
not in the Mercury, but in the county. County.
I mean, it's worth an ask.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good news, I've got somebody from Ogden for you.
Fabulous.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's see. So any other comments about the survey before we?
The map, it's gonna show all the townships on it, what's gonna be?
So not so much that it will show the townships, but it'll show. I don't know if you folks remember, that was a very lengthy and wordy question I had there, and you know, that obviously wasn't gonna work very well. The idea is to get people thinking about where they think growth should be focused or funneled, if you will. We have right now in our comp plan, we do have what we call designated growth areas. There are little areas mostly outside the small cities and then along the lake. So part of this, of course, part of the whole process is going to be, are those working? Do we need to identify other ones? You know, do we need to remove those? You know, that kind of idea. But we want to get some input from folks. Where do you think, where would you be okay with, you know, additional housing or additional whatever it might be? I know people tend to get a little nervous about the idea of growth, but hopefully if we can give them a map, okay, you know, here's some, not necessarily townships, but you know, just kind of segments of, you know, the county,
Just
you know, hey, over here.
broad areas, mark, 1, 2, 3, which one
Right.
you think? No.
Exactly, yeah, so. Just
Not
trying
just
to,
throwing a dart at it, but areas.
Yeah.
We're going to solicit more businesses or more housing or whatever. What area of the county should we focus on?
yeah. That'll, hopefully with the map and then, yeah, just kind of numbering the sections, you know. Just give us a section that you think without having to, you know, read and really understand that lengthy question I had in there before, so that's kind of the thought there, so. Give them some visuals.
So they would be able to click on the section that they like, or put the number up in that, in number 11.
Right, essentially, yeah, so either input the number or yeah, click however we set up the survey, however it lets us do it, so. Yeah, be it just selecting the box or just, yeah, inputting a number or color or whatever it would be. So. Trying to make it, you know, a little interactive, a little more fun than just reading a bunch of just, you know. Words essentially, so. Other thoughts on that? What's on the survey as a whole?
On the housing types, hasn't that been, there's been a survey on housing? Is it as comprehensive as this is?
There's this, the city did their housing needs assessment, but it's pretty much
It just was.
in the city.
Okay.
I mean, that's not to say we can't use some of that data to help us inform. By no means is that data not useful for us, but of course, our thing is looking at the entire county, so.
Probably by the time we get to this, it's 2 or 3 years old, so the
Correct,
data may change a little bit.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised.
that is a good point too, so. Right, and just to wrap up really quick, so. In terms of the schedule, my original intention, of course, was to have to get the TAC together late May, early June. Well, we're just about in late May, which is crazy. And because our survey's not quite ready, the consultant thing, you know, I'm trying to figure that out. And then the city's kind of finishing up some of their outreach with their downtown plan, and I wanted to, you know, let that have their moment before we, you know, do our thing. So I'm looking at probably July at this point, and I have reached out to the group, the folks who have expressed interest, making sure I want to keep them aware. You know, here's what's going on, here's what I'm thinking. please let me know if you have, concerns or if that's just not gonna work for you or whatnot. I've received a few responses. People are still, excited to be a part of it, so I'm happy for that, so. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now for a first meeting for an initial meeting with the TAC, not to not do anything till then, but that initial meeting with that group would be probably early July, is what I'm targeting at this point. Yeah.
If someone from the community does want to serve on the TAC, would you like them to contact you directly?
Sure.
What's the best way?
Yeah, absolutely. Any questions, comments, on anything we discussed there? If you think of anything or think of people, please let me know. Happy to get everybody involved that I can, so. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Next commissioner, that's on the 10-10 executive session.
I thought that was gonna be at the end.
Yeah, we have one, we have a second.
Oh, second.
One is enough.
I saw that. yeah. One is.
Double the fun.
Thank you for being here. Yeah.
Bye.
Good day, everyone.
You too.
Take the full 20, Clancy.
Yes.
I think so. Always wants to add them though.
Always say no. Not me.
It's possible we have to. You can certainly. I assume it's probably not done, is my guess, but I'm not sure.
Correct. Well, what's the movement?
Actually, after crawling around in the garden.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah, I could feel it when I went to bed last night. But I'm doing that. Tractor and brush hogging and moving equipment around, and so I was doing all kinds of up and down and. Equipment. Shuffling and moving to get connected to the tractor. Oh, well, I did, I was getting the boat out, to get it ready. My whole end goal never got to it. But everything's done now, so now I can proceed with that. Track the back, so it runs a lot better now, so start it back.
Rider in. Something that was loose. You get that, those belts underneath it that goes through all of it. Everything. Every time you stop it, it comes loose. So there's something, and I tried to look under there. Evidently, it's evidently there's something.
Either fully spring might
Yeah,
be
something-
loose or lost
spring,
tension, or,
something.
and sometimes, look underneath there,
Right.
sometimes there's a bolt where you can just adjust it to tighten it.
No,
The idler pulley to put more tension on it for when the belt stretches a little.
no.
Some of the mowers have those on there, and it's just a little one nut that you move.
I thought part of the problem was I went to mow last week, the last time, that I had cleaned it. It was the clippings were so packed in underneath there.
But we,
I thought getting those, I thought, oh, that's what's costing. I got those all cleaned out and tried it.
we have this every time after we mow, just like I used the brush hog yesterday too, but we get the blower and blow all that out every
Yeah.
time after we mow.
I know it's good, but I don't. But it hasn't been quite a while. I try to do it every other one. Well, I evidently, when I put it away last year, I didn't clean it, because it was
Yeah.
pretty dense and neat there. So I thought, I'd get all that cleaned out, that would all it work better next time.
Yeah.
It didn't. I'd say there's something.
And sometimes it's just time to replace his belts and get
Ah,
some stretch.
well, that's what, yeah. And there's no, I've only got this much room trying to figure out what to do. Is it? Where's it going through all there?
It's time, commissioners.
Okay. May go ahead and move that the county commission, including chairwoman Foki, vice chairman Ford and Commissioner McKinley recess into executive session on potential litigation for the purpose of consultation with Clancy Holman, county counselor, attorney for the commission, which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship. An exception to the Kansas Open Meetings Act and the open meeting to resume in the county commission chamber at 10:30 a.m.
I'll second.
It's moved and seconded to recess into executive session, returning at 10:30 a.m. All in favor?
All right.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
I would move that the Board of County Commissioners come out of executive session.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded that the board come out of the executive session. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll also move that the record reflect action shall be taken consistent with the consensus reached in executive session.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that consensus was reached during the executive session. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners. I have nothing for you.
Hello again. Hello again. Well, just for the record, oh, there's a spider on me.
Spider
Yes,
on the microphone?
yes.
You can keep it.
That's really strange. There's just a little guy there.
Oh, it's a black widow.
That was on your paperwork. I did that well, didn't I?
And for the record, everybody listening, that's what it sounds like to kill a spider.
You're welcome.
You're the only goal.
You can hear it and see it. When PETA shows up at your door, good luck.
You guys are recorded.
Great. Sit trying
I
again.
don't know how you're gonna top that, but
All right.
power to you.
Okay, so spider aside, still Amanda Webb, Raleigh County Planning Director. Good morning again.
That has to do with environment, doesn't
You
it?
know what? I was just gonna say that. We're
Yeah.
talking about environmental health services, spiders are natural.
Can't do all the rest of stuff, but we'll kill spiders for
Exactly.
you.
You know, we're sort of full service.
Used to be part of the environment.
Yeah.
It's still part of the environment.
So just a quick update on our environmental health services. Of course, we're still working on getting somebody in that position, and we're getting a little bit closer, and I'm happy to report on that. But right now, of course, the position is vacant, and we've been just doing what we can to keep things moving. For all intents and purposes, everything is normal, if you will, still require applications be submitted, we still have to do our reviews, to issue permits, still do our inspections, still do all of that sort of stuff. The only thing, excuse me, the only thing that's not status quo, if you will, we're not doing water testing right now. Geary County is doing that. There's also other labs that people can take their samples to as well. So we're not doing that one. Everything else we're managing in some fashion. As you folks know, of course, Dr. Presley is helping us with our soil evaluations. She is keeping that up with us. So really, really happy for that. There's not like a standard day a week or time that she does it. It's just we kind of schedule them week to week based on her schedule. She's got other things happening too, but definitely been able to at least get a couple done each week. So we're fairly well caught up. We have a couple more that have been lingering, but I've been in contact with everybody. They're aware of what's happening. Again, luckily for the most part, people have been understanding and doing what they need to do still. So we're moving along with that. Let's see. So yeah, so again, all of that is pretty standard, just kind of getting different folks, I think with the public works technicians have helped with some inspections. They're available to do that right now. I know at any moment they can get taken off and have to actually go back to do their own work, but I really appreciate them being available to help out with that stuff. Of course, as you folks know, you need to go to a soils workshop here in a couple of weeks out in Colorado, so that will be interesting. And I've been going out with Deanne as much as I can to just kind of learn what I can, just kind of see the process, see how it all works and whatnot. So trying to at least be able to do it, and at least understand how it all works. So. Let's see, I know I've kind of given you piecemeal updates on this over the last several weeks. I originally had a much longer update plan, but thinking about it, we've talked about a lot of it over the last few weeks. So of course, environmental health technician position that you folks approved to take the place of the specialist position. So we've got that job description approved, and it's actually advertised on our website as well as the EHS. And I believe I mentioned that all of our interviews, I should say, have been at that tech level. Nobody's
been able to qualify for the full specialist, but we do have some folks who could fill the tech role. So we're following up a few of those now. So hopefully we'll have somebody in that position here sooner than later. So we'll get that moving along. Let's see. What else to like here that we haven't really talked about. Did you folks have any questions or comments? Have you heard anything, any concerns from people? And I will say most everybody's been pretty understanding and working with us, so.
That other guy didn't work out.
He did work out, unfortunately, you know, and again, I appreciate his, you know, willingness, but we just couldn't get on the same page with an insurance question. It happens, so, but we're making things work, so. You know. Questions or comments on that?
I gotta think with K-State graduation, there has to be something there, but
Great. And that's what we struggle with the health department director too, you know, we have an MPH program, you always wonder where they go.
Right, yeah.
There weren't any of the students that did the soil sampling with Dr. Presley that were in.
And she has mentioned that to her students, and I know there's been other professors who have mentioned it to their students, so they're helping us get the word out, which is fantastic. It's just a matter of
I
course.
see the position listed with KC too, I just.
Yeah, advertised it there, and just a lot of word of mouth, it seems to be almost the bigger thing, so. So. Thank you very much.
Next commissioner, you have Anna Person, 10:45.
You have time post meeting?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure. Just one question.
Yeah.
Okay. Plans this weekend, Anna?
This weekend,
Long weekend.
going to Wichita, my dad will be coming up from the city to see the girls, so.
Good deal.
Plan to meet halfway.
What's halfway between?
Wichita, I gotta go to.
Okay, I was thinking.
Quite halfway.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Pretty
It's
close.
pretty close
Close,
from
yeah.
here, yeah.
He's in Midwest City. It's about a 2-hour drive, 2.5.
Midwest City.
Midwest City, Oklahoma.
Where's that? Is that close to Moore?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
That's where my
I
dog.
think
my
it's
dog
east of,
lives.
east of. So yeah, that's about a 2.5-hour drive for him to come up to where I used to live and.
It's a good halfway point.
Yeah, it's a halfway mark.
that's interesting. I was just watching some tornado footage from that storm in '99. It went through Moore and Midwest City right there, so they are right real close to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 99 was, I lived in Hayesville when that one took out. That was.
Yeah, that was the same night.
Yeah, it was a crazy.
We were down in Emporia and ran right into a baseball-sized hail core. Told my friends Cavalier.
Yeah, that road that tornado took in 99. We were on it within a minute and 30 seconds of it hitting. The sirens were going off and we just turned and it hit that whole, the total destruction, that whole road. We were in the heart of Hayesville when it was coming in, and my mom had just picked us up from that library, and that road it took leads to where we live. And so we just got off when it had just ripped through. And
Yeah.
destroyed everything.
That'll do.
Yeah, it was
Is
unbelievable.
that the one that went through McConnell?
No,
No.
you're thinking Andover. That
Yeah,
was.
that was
I
the
am.
end of it.
I thought you mentioned Hayesville.
Yeah, 99, the 99 tornado
Okay.
that took out.
Hayesville was 92, wasn't it?
Was it?
91 or 92.
The Andover one was 90. 92, I think.
Yeah,
I
Hickville
couldn't
was
have told you
99.
what year it was. Yeah.
Yeah. That probably Hickville was 99.
I got some storm footage from this EF3 up in someplace in Nebraska last week. And they drove into it and intercepted it, but they got a drone of it too, watching the whole thing. Pretty cool.
It's crazy how close they can get to see some of those things.
This one got right in it.
Yeah. It's sort of scary.
I'd love to do that. That is so cool.
For that, I just don't play around with tornadoes. If it's even a possibility, where's the nearest shelter?
Really?
That's what you do too, right, Rich?
Kansas, no, we've got.
Run down and get in a shelter.
My mom was walking out the front door when we were taking shelter in the basement, and it was going through the back. Yeah. Crazy.
Either I'm not watching them or apparently I fall asleep during them. One of the two.
That's what ran big. 66 in
Mhm.
Topeka. And I wasn't home, I was on scout camp out, but the sirens go off, everybody goes downstairs. They could hear the noise and kind of really sounds like something. So I guess folks, my brother said, well, let's go see what it is. They went up the stairs, looked out the back door. And stuff was flying through the air. I guess they about knocked each other down, getting back down in the basement. Oh, this isn't just a
No.
That would be a surprise.
Wiped out Jardine in 66.
Would have wiped out the entire Northview neighborhood had it actually been
Been
there.
there.
Oh,
But it did weird, tornadoes do weird things. We had a screened-in porch with one of those fold-out lounge chairs that's there. It opened the door because there was no, there's pinholes, but there was no big hole in the screen. It evidently pulled the door open, pulled that out, it was wrapped around the tree in the backyard. But it didn't go through, it had to have opened the door and pulled it out of the door and around the backyard.
yeah, it does some strange things.
But even like the 08 tornado here up in Mills Ranch, there was a house with the driveway that kind of sit up top and then it kind of comes back down into the house and they had a little Dodge Dakota sitting there and they picked it up and shot it through the side of the garage. So it was launched in the garage, but there was no other damage to the garage. The door that the garage, it launched it into the side and the garage door was still there, perfectly fit. They could hit the button and it worked and the electricity was on, but there was a, small little truck launched in the side of it.
Well, in ours, because I guess all the windows in the car were rolled up and the pressure blew out one of the windows in the car.
I was working at Manco at the time and we got windows from the soil erosion lab of all places. And, they're double pane, but we've got a coating on the inside of them that, holds, all the UV and all that stuff on them. We wouldn't have known that the windows had any issues with them, except tornado took that out of the windows without even busting the windows.
Sucks it out.
Yeah. No idea how that happened, but it did. Out of the soil erosion lab, full ironies.
We were damaged, not too bad. The block away houses were like, just on the edge of it. Trees, because we had the old neighborhood with all the trees covered in. The trees used to cover the street were all in the street.
Contractors blamed some of the oxidation of the old Capitol building there on that because it stripped the
Oh,
layer
yeah,
of it
yeah,
off
yeah,
and it made it weather a lot quicker.
And I think took out the grade school just a block away and it didn't take it completely down, but destroyed enough, couldn't use. So my brothers, the next year, they shipped off first and second grade, went to this school. but
Yeah.
Busing them all around. Well, no, they didn't bus them. Parents had, drove.
Hmm.
Brothers were in two different schools, one a mile that way and another mile that way.
It's not frustrating for your parents.
Yeah. A lot of carpooling amongst.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, we're using the same boat, makes sense.
Okay. And then,
Good morning, Commissioners. Anna Burson, Riley County Appraiser. I am here requesting to refill the personal property appraiser one position. The background, the personal property appraiser one position became available May 15th. This position is crucial to the work of our personal property department and the customer service functions of the appraiser's office as a whole. This position's been in place and is in the appraiser's office budget. No additional funds would be necessary. I'm requesting and recommending to post and refill the position at the earliest opportunity. The possible motions are there. Do you have any questions?
We going internal or external? I guess we're going external for this one, right?
Problems.
no. For you, John.
The position description is also attached in there for your review if you'd like to.
Is this one that keeps kind of revolving around?
This one has been recently opened, but there are some mitigating circumstances, and so we would be more than happy to talk about it in executive session. It's a personnel.
Okay.
But this particular position, this particular opening was filled for 6 months.
That's what I thought. Okay. My original screen. Here's. Okay. I'd move to approve posting and refilling the personal property appraiser one position in the county appraiser's office.
No, second.
I moved and seconded to refill the personal property appraiser one in the appraiser's office. All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anna. Next question, Julie Gibbs and 7:55. Anyone else in here think it feels like a sauna in here? Like, nice.
It's pretty warm in here.
Seems a little chilly.
Earlier, but now it's starting to.
There's too much hot air going on here, I think.
Too much hot air. Huh. Well, Greg, we toured around Riley on Saturday, my son and I, and
Oh, yeah.
the farmhouse. We haven't physically been there yet.
Oh,
And it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon and there was 20+ people in there just
farmhouse.
enjoying life. I talked to her, I can't remember her name, the owner,
Aaron.
yeah, and I said, oh my gosh, you're so busy. She's like, I know, we didn't expect it at all. And so they were scrambling, but
Oh.
yeah, we looked around at everything, just kind of drove around the town. Some really nice little houses there.
Mhm.
No, that's my niece.
Yeah, I remember you saying that now. Yeah. And went to graduation and it was a nice high school. I've been wanting to get in there too.
So they had graduation on Saturday.
And that's why they were busy.
Yeah, and so she thought they'd all go to like, parties.
Go to houses, but they all.
I mean, at least get other people, maybe just other people who hadn't been invited to a party afterward or something. I don't know, but there were a lot of people and it was really social and nice and
Yeah.
Elijah had some homemade ice cream, so.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's always good.
Yeah. That was good.
It's wrong to keep it on 8th grade promotion.
So that was one of the fun things. The gal who did their speech was the principal at the elementary school and spoke at their 8th grade promotion. She's since retired, but the class asked her to come back and speak to
Oh,
them.
really?
So it was really,
That's Teresa Grant.
yeah, it was really sentimental.
The name, I was like, oh,
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and it was sentimental and it was
that was nice.
nice. Yeah, it was nice. And their valedictorian did a great job. Really
She's
great.
good, yeah.
She looked up
CJ.
just past Pete's
She's gonna do something.
Aaron's daughter that has a promotion. Her oldest daughter, second child.
At the Daviela Public Elementary in town. Well, Elijah has his pre-K graduation next Friday, this Friday coming up, yeah. So I know, they've already got, I know. It's not even kindergarten.
How do you get a mortarboard that small?
No, then they already took their pictures with their little, yeah. It's.
I had 2 graduations in my lifetime, and now kids, by the time they graduate kindergarten, have 2 already.
I thought the same thing. I'm like, well, it really makes it less special. You already had 3, so, yeah. Yeah, he'll have had 3, because I'm sure they'll do one in kindergarten, so pre-K,
Right.
kindergarten, 8th grade.
And they, I think they do something now in elementary school.
Oh, they do.
Graders doing that shit. And I saw
It's too much, it's too much. Too
It
much.
is a
red.
lot anymore. It is.
Wonder why we have no time to do anything.
Not only that, I wonder why everybody wants constant recognition.
Yeah. That's where you come up with these dumb terms like work-life balances. and
How
stuff.
un-HR of you to
Been
say
ingrained
that.
from
About
kindergarten.
well-being of our employees.
I am shocked.
Your generations make it before then,
We did.
with 2 graduations, I might add.
I know. And don't you feel slighted? My gosh.
At this point, no, maybe 20 years ago.
And it was uphill to the stage.
It was always the stage, and you up and down, it was crazy.
Yeah, under enemy machine gun fire.
Yes. Generation X had it tough.
We did.
That's why Holman never walks a straight line.
Oh, it's always serpentine. It's always serpentine.
That's why loud noises he turns real quick.
That's why he's drinking on the job. It's just survival.
Yeah, I can say. I feel both ways to the grade school, except there's a half a block to the grade school. You can see it out my back door.
Now, I will say going to grade school, I did go uphill one way, but I went
Not the other
downhill
way,
coming the
yeah.
other way, yeah. Shoes were still optional, but that's Kentucky. So are teeth these
Shoes
days
were
too,
optional.
apparently. I can get away with that because I'm from, okay, just let me clarify.
It's okay. We might have similar backgrounds.
Kentuckians aren't a protected class.
No, they're not.
Not yet.
There's an argument made, I'm just saying.
Especially the further out east you get.
Another man that see candidate file,
Oh, did you?
don't know her name. I've heard.
She's an older lady? Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. We can't get it.
I think she was at Saturday's meetings.
I'm sure.
As long as they don't have such. As long as they don't get that.
Huh?
As long as they don't get the 9. And 2 plus 1 is 10.
Well, actually, this year you'd be 13, because there's 4 up for election this
Know how
year.
to use.
Yeah, we were talking
3 times. oh,
3 times
two
plus 1,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
3
times plus 1.
Unless they really
13.
pour in.
13.
Yeah, for city, yeah.
Get there.
We were arguing over that number on Saturday as well.
Hey, Julie.
Recess.
Oh.
Make a motion that we recess as the Board of County Commission and reconvene as the Board of County Health.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to recess as the Board of County Commission and reconvene as the Board of Health. All in favor?
Aye.
Good morning. Julie Gibbs with the Health Department here again to ask permission to apply for another grant. This is more funding under the Kansas Fights Addiction Grant, or the funds. About a month ago, they put out an RFP for this same thing, but it was geared more toward treatment and recovery. This is geared more toward prevention. So this is their second round under the Kansas Fights Addiction Grant. This overarching goal of the Kansas Fights Addiction Funds is to prevent, reduce, treat, or mitigate the effects of substance abuse and addiction in Kansas. So our goals with this would be to increase awareness and expand prevention education beyond schools in our region. Right now, Asia with the Overdose Data to Action Grant is focusing primarily on schools. She's had a lot of requests to go out and do other presentations, but we have not done that just because of her time, and we're just focusing on the high schools in the region. We'll also work to enhance proper disposal of medications, engage more youth to lead programs in the schools, and work toward community level strategic planning with the newly established task force, which we're working to establish this summer. We'll also work to facilitate continuity of care by increasing service integration between healthcare disciplines, effective care coordination, and referrals management. So I'm requesting funding to hire a community health navigator. This is kind of a cross between community health educator, which Asia is doing right now, and a navigator, which would do some case management to link individuals to services. So this is to expand on some of the work that we're currently doing with the OD2A grant and to facilitate more linkage to care. So I'm asking for the full $200,000. This is a 12-month grant. It will begin in October, and the grant application is due June 23rd. Any questions on that?
I might also explain that this is another part of the municipality's Fight Addiction Fund. There's like $340 million given to the state. The cities and counties were giving 25% of that. We are putting our 50% of the 25% of the percent, which they break it down by population. Which I think it was $100,000. We have 118 in there right now. We put into a fund 53, but it is totally separate from what she's asking for. They're breaking out these other grants and everything separately. So I just wanted to clarify that these are separate monies, and they're just doing their state thing. So no crossovers.
It's interesting, it's coming through a foundation too, not straight from a state agency.
Yeah. Yeah, they had a webinar on it. So you go through the foundation website, but it's actually a separate application. So if you were to apply for a regular application in the Sunflower Foundation, that's one icon you hit on, and then this one is a whole separate one, which I found interesting.
Yeah.
Now, this would, since it's substance abuse, that would even include alcohol.
It's mostly opioid.
But it's mainly
Yeah.
opioid, but it could be methamphetamine or.
I think you could expand on that. I haven't read into that a whole lot yet, but our focus would mainly be opioid.
And that is in addition to the opioid grant. We say,
Yes, yeah, that one ends in August. So this
Oh, okay.
will be hopefully to continue that. We have a little gap, but
Well, basically, you're only gonna be able to do that for 12 months if the grant doesn't exist afterwards,
correct, yeah. Just 12 months.
from October of this year to October of end of September of
Yeah.
24, I guess. Okay.
You have a question?
Okay. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the Riley County Health Department's request to apply for the Kansas Fights Addiction Funds through the Sunflower Foundation.
No, second,
It's been moved and seconded to approve RCHD's request to apply for funds through the Kansas, or through the Sunflower Foundation. For Kansas Fights Addiction. All in favor?
I
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Julie. Commissioners, time for the additional executive session.
need to make a motion.
Yeah.
And recess as the Board of County Commission and then reconvene as the. No, other way around. We need to recess as the Board of County Health and then reconvene as the Board of County Commission. My bad.
no, second,
It's been moved and seconded to recess as the Board of County Health and reconvene as the Board of County Commissioners. All in favor?
Okay, and then we'll go ahead and move that the county commission, including Chairwoman BOCC, Vice Chair Ford, and Commissioner McKinley recess into executive session on a performance matter of non-elected personnel to protect the privacy of the employee, an exception to the Kansas Open Meetings Act. The Clancy Holman, Riley County Counselor, Attorney for the Commission, and Elizabeth Ward, Human Resource Director. The open meeting to resume in the County Commission chamber at 11:15
15.
a.m. Yeah. AM.
no, second,
So moved and seconded to recess into executive session until 11:15. All in favor?
Thank you.
It's somebody's gonna be
I'll go ahead and move that the Board of County Commissioners come out of executive session.
I'll second.
So moved and seconded, the Board of County Commissioners come out of this executive session, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll also move that the record reflect action shall be taken with consensus reached in executive session.
I'll second.
So moved and seconded that the no consensus or that consensus was reached during the executive session. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Get that back.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Oh, that's it.
That's it.
Probably not.
Oh, wow, I'm not used to that.
Don't give him the opportunity.
No, no.
There's always time.
It's lunchtime,
Not just lunch break.
right?
We're done.
Yeah, done.
We have to run back. and forth.
Wow,
No.
I don't know what to do with all this time. Well, thankfully, I don't have anything else this morning.
No,
Okay.
I don't either.
I guess I'll go ahead and make a motion that we adjourn the May 22nd meeting, right? Yeah, May 22nd meeting of the Riley County Commission.
And I'll second.
So moved and seconded that we adjourn the May 22nd meeting of the Valley County Commission. All in favor?
Aye.